and then you'll die.
What up, guys? Welcome back. Jackpot DFS, man. Hope you guys had a nice slate yesterday. A little tilting with the Charlotte-Dallas game and things like that, man. Kind of, you don't see those kind of things coming. I think Dallas was even favored in that game, probably. Hey, I'm a Hornets fan, so I actually enjoyed that the Hornets are playing better this season. But at the same time, in the DFS world, that's a tilting thing about being a fan and being a DFS player. Sometimes those things can kind of don't mesh well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Usually, as a fan, you try to not let that get in the way of what you're playing DFS wise. But it's funny how those things work sometimes. But nonetheless, I hope you guys did well. Fresh new shave, ready for the new year. I'm hoping that 2021 will bring a better year than 2020 was. As well, I hope you guys are preparing for a fun New Year's Eve. Some states are only allowing like a small amount of gatherings. We're having a couple people over, nothing major. And hope you guys are doing the same and going to have some fun. And hopefully most of you are off for New Year's Day. My name's Doug. Obviously, Jackpot DFS is the name of the channel. If you guys aren't subscribed already to the channel, I don't know what the hell you guys are waiting for. This is we provide daily content every single day. Hit that notifications button, man, as well. Helps you see the channel, see the vids when they come out daily. As well, if you guys are back for a new vid, welcome back, man. Hit that like button. Always appreciated. Let's move and talk about Draft Dashboard as we usually do. This is the little tool that we use for our draft for our fantasy, that we use for every day to build our player pools. It gives us projections, percentages on 5x in that salary every single day. It gives us a projection of what we think the players will do fantasy points wise for the day, cheat sheets, top players of the day, etc. History behind what they've done against those teams in the past, and allows you to build up to 150 lineups that you can export over to Draftkings or FanDuel. You can try all of these tools and more with Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1 in the description of the video. You just hit that link, man, get yourself set up and get started. Why not wait? Why wait any further to give yourself an advantage over the field and use this tool for 30 days? If you don't like it, hey man, it's no sweat. You can always discontinue the service. But if you enjoy it and it helps you, continue to subscribe to the service, man, and get some money. That's what we're playing DFS for, after all, right? So let's talk about this 5-game slate that we got today. Obviously, we got a new regime in Houston. No Russell Westbrook anymore. We now have John Wall and Boogie Cousins joining James Harden. We have not seen this team play together. A little bit small portion preseason. We have not seen them in the regular season just yet. So what to expect is kind of unknown. But I do think these guys will mesh well together and have a good chemistry. And who knows, maybe James Harden will change his mind and want to stay in Houston and sign up for that max contract and go from there. So we'll have to see. But obviously, starting with a point guard position today, we love James Harden as always. He is very, very pricey today at $11,000. But however, is projected for 53.2 points today. Could even do better than that. His past few games against Sacramento, he's been really, really damn good. 84, 61, 52, 54, and a 60. You can pretty much bank on the fact that James Harden's going to show out no matter what. Love James Harden today. Just not in love with the price. I do think the price of James Harden will make it hard to construct lineups with James Harden in them today. Yes, I will have some, but you're going to have to get cheap in some other positions to play him. And I do think you can save some salary kind of going today if you play like John Wall instead, etc. I'll talk about that here going further, what I kind of like today. But I love James Harden. I just don't like the price today. I just think it makes it hard on a 5-game slate. Moving on to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Been remarkable for Oklahoma City. He took the keys to the Jeep. He's now the main man for Oklahoma City. Coming in today at 8,100 on DraftKings. has a 100% rate of 5 times in that salary today, 31.3 projected score, projected for 27% ownership. Some good games against New Orleans already, even last year. 42, 33, and 34, some notable games that he's had in the past against them. Next guy on my list that I really like today is De'Aaron Fox. 75% he's going to 5X that salary at 7,800 today. 17% projected ownership, 33.9 fantasy points projected for De'Aaron Fox. Past few games against Houston, some notable games he's had, 50, a 52, and a 46. Do expect that he'll have a nice day today against Houston. We all know they don't love to play defense against the point guards. A cheap option today that you can go with is George Hill. George Hill's been a reborn man with Oklahoma City. Has put up a 34 and 30 in the last couple games. 100% rate of 5X in that $4,700 salary. 15% projected ownership. Love George Hill for a cheap option to go with today. Now, my next guy on the list is also in that backcourt of Houston. We have not seen John Wall play a regular season game with Houston, but we saw him in the preseason and how good he looked, and he looks really healthy. Projected for 42.7 points today. Love John Wall. Love the play of John Wall. I do think you can get more balance playing John Wall over Harden, and going balanced in that route will help you, give you a better chance to cash today. So cash game lineups, I think John Wall is a better play than James Harden, and then you can kind of build around that. Moving on, but John Wall, one of my favorite plays today, doesn't have a history because John Wall's pretty much been hurt for a couple of different seasons, but is projected for 42.7 points today. 22% projected ownership for him as well. Moving on to the shooting guard position. Obviously, we're going to have to keep an eye on that New York news, see what guards are out today. Obviously, they didn't have a lot of guards, obviously, for the last game. So could see some value play there open up for on the New York side, and I think that's probably going to be our best bet. But guys like Elfrid Payton could pick up time, pick up usage. Guys like Bullock, etc., could pick up playing time today. So that's just something we'll have to keep our eyes on as the day goes forward. Maybe they'll give that news to us a little early, but we'll see. Looking on to guys like this, though, we're going to look at a guy like R.J. Barrett, who is 6,900, has really played a lot of minutes here lately, and especially if they're going to be without those guards, he's going to even play more minutes. So 37, 38, 38 last 3 games in minutes alone. 27.3 projection in fantasy points today. That price is a little high. However, he is playing an absurd amount of minutes, and not going against the worst defensive matchup in Toronto. Toronto's more strong on their bigs, playing their bigs and containing there. I do think he could have a good day today. Not my favorite play in this round, but I do think with the 5-game slate, I think R.J. Barrett coming in at a 4% ownership could give you an edge on the field if he does have a big day today. Moving on to other guys that I like for today. A couple guys kind of in the same range of salary that can give you some salary relief today. Halliburton has played, he's a rookie this season, has played pretty damn good. He's getting playing time. He's had 26, 26, and 24 minutes the past 3 games. Projected for 27.3%, 27.3 projected fantasy points today. Has a 75% of F5X in that salary at 4,900. Love a cheaper play in Halliburton today. One kind of an unsung hero, kind of the guy nobody's really talking about. But I do think he could have a big day, and his ownership right now is coming in at about 3%. So talking about ways to get different and separate yourself in the field. Another guy that's not coming in at great ownership right now, probably bearing news about New York guards, is Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock had to play 40 minutes last game and had a 31. At 4,600, could blow that score to pieces, or blow that salary to pieces if he plays 40 minutes again tonight. So just keep that in mind. Love the play of Reggie Bullock if those guards don't play today. Just kind of looking down the list, Another guy who could have a decent day today and save you some salary is J.J. Redick, $3,700. Projected score of 20.7 today. Has had he's only playing about 20 minutes a game, 24, 19, 17, but's had some decent games against Oklahoma City. Nothing less than a 22, 24, 26, 28, 22, and a 36 last few games against Oklahoma City. So love to play there as well. So there's some ways to get different today with cheaper salaries to let you fit those bigger monsters in there that we know we're going to need today to put ourselves in a prime position to either win a GPP or either make a strong cash line that gets up there in the money. First guy on my list for small forward today is Brandon Ingram. Guy's been pretty damn good this season. The only thing you kind of worry about is blowouts with this kind of scenario. But, 5-game slate, you got to go for the guys you like and hope for the best. I think Brandon Ingram was a strong play today. Coming in at 19% ownership, 38.1 projected. He's played 37, 35, and 28 minutes the last 3 games. Had a 35, a 54, and a 30 the last 3. Against Oklahoma City, a couple notable games to mention, a 45 and a 39. Love the play of Brandon Ingram today. Another guy who's played a ton of minutes that nobody's really talking about is OJ Nobi for Toronto. $5,800 in price. He's coming in at 28.4 projection and score, 11% ownership. Has a 67% chance of 5X in that salary today. But also has played 36, 35, and 36 minutes the past 3 games. He had a 44 the last game, but 29, 26, and a 44 the last 3. Could be a strong play today at a mediocre price of $5,800 today. Moving down our list with a couple other guys to mention. Another guy that nobody's going to really talk about today is McCall Bridges. Coming in at 1% ownership only, but only $5,900 today. Past 3 games, has played 26, 36, and 30 minutes, 23, a 36, and a 26. Projected for 22.8. Do think he can get a little stronger than that. Does have a 50% chance that he'll 5X that salary. 24 last time out against Utah. Do think he's a better player and matured a little bit, so I do think he can come out and be a stronger play today. Another guy on my list today is Bogdanovic. Has been pretty strong this season. Projected for 28.5 projection in fantasy points today, at coming in at 14% ownership. Has played pretty good minutes, 33, 34, 34. It's at a 26, a 22, and a 34. Do like the strong play of Bogdan today. Love that play. Let's talk about some cheaper options that we can go with today at small forward. Cameron Johnson has played limited minutes. However, he's been outstanding in those little limited minutes this season for Phoenix. His usage rates when he's on the floor has been outstanding as well. He's played 25, 21, and 22 minutes, but he's also put up a 15, a 27, and a 29. Could be a strong play. Even if this turns out to a blowout, this guy could be on the floor maxing it out. So just some consideration if you're playing multi-entry tourneys today, etc. I do think Cameron Johnson could be a strong contrarian play today that you could throw in a line to play. That has a nice amount of upside. He also has a 75% chance of 5X in that salary today. So let's talk about the last cheap option that I like today. Kind of another unsung hero, a guy of the team of Utah, Royce O'Neal, $3,800, 67% chance he'll 5X that salary today. He is coming in at a stronger ownership of 26%, projected for 18.1 points today. Last few games against Phoenix, a 15, a 23, and a 25. He's played 28, 34, and 33 minutes, so a strong consideration for him considering how many minutes he's playing out of such a cheap salary. So I do think that's a strong play today to save you some salary again to get you up to some of those monsters that we need to play today to put ourselves in prime position. Next guy on my list, obviously we're moving over to the power forward position, is going to be Julius Randle. Julius Randle's coming in 11% ownership right now. He is higher priced. I think last time out he was in the 7s. Now he's all the way up to 8,800 on DraftKings. Really high price. However, this guy has been a monster, putting up 1.34 fantasy points per minute. Projected for 39.9 projection and score today. He played 44 minutes last game. 34, 37, and 44 minutes. He's put up a 39, a 61, and a 62. Love the strong play of Julius Randle today. He's been pretty good against Toronto and averaging up with those averages of 38, 39, 38, 40, 31, and a 45. If he's going to put up 60 points today, man, go ahead and hit that $8,800 mark and go ahead and put him in your lineup. Strong consideration for Julius Randle today going against Toronto, which is a little bit tougher of a matchup, but I do think he should succeed nonetheless. Let's talk about another guy on the other side of that game is Pascal Siakam. 33% chance to hit 5x that salary. He is playing a lot of minutes as well. 38, 43, and 34 the last 3 games. He's had a 36, a 15, and 35. However, Siakam is one of those guys. He is coming out in a little bit more ownership than Julius Randle at the moment. This is the issue. The issue with Siakam is that his points per minute are not as good as a guy like Randle. So this is kind of a hedging decision you'll have to make today. For 500 more, you pay Julius Randle. I do think you mix these guys up. I think you get a little bit of both. A little bit more favorable for me for Randle, just because of the production he does and puts up. Siakam can take days off and have mediocre days. Randle just kind of puts it all on the floor, which I love about him. So hedging the field with a little bit more Randle, and Randle has the better day, could put you in a better position. That's just an individual decision you'll have to make. But I do like Randle a little bit more. Obviously, the price a little bit more. But if you're going to go ahead and pay $8,300 for Siakam, why not just go ahead and get up to that 500 more and just get you some Randle. Another option in that area, also, you could go Brandon Ingram. So you have to kind of decide what you want to do with that realm. Obviously, Brandon Ingram's a strong play. But you can also play him in the power forward spot or small forward spot. So those are just tricky decisions you'll have to make today with a 5-game slate. Moving on to Zion Williamson. Also can have great days and also can have mediocre days. So these are decisions we'll have to make today. But however, coming in at 27% ownership, projected for 34.4 points today. As far as fantasy points per minute, 1.18. Past 3 games, a 53, a 45, and a 24. I think that last game was a blowout, so 24 is kind of just kind of throw that off to the wayside. Strong consideration today for Zion Williamson. Had put up a 42 last time up against Oklahoma City, so strong consideration today for Zion Williamson. Moving down my list. Next guy on my list is Al Horford. Al Horford didn't play last game, but do expect him to be a prime target today and think he can have a good day today. 67% chance that he'll 5x his fixed $6,100 salary. Ways to get different. He is coming in at 16% ownership, so but projected for 27.2 points today. Last 3 against New Orleans, a 39, a 17, and a 39. So some consideration for him today. Moving down our list. Let's talk about a couple guys for Sacramento who's kind of unheard of guys who aren't getting the love that they deserve. Harrison Barnes has been pretty damn fantastic this season. Kind of secretly has been really good this season. 30 he's had pretty strong minutes as well. 34, 28, and 33 minutes the last 3 games. He's put up a 30, 18, and 33. Only coming in today at 8% ownership. He has a 75% chance to 5x that $5,400 salary. Do think Harrison Barnes could be a strong play today. Hasn't had the best games against Houston, but he's hitting that realm of maturity where some of these guys, you can see the level of play and how they're maturing a little bit more. And Harrison Barnes is one of those guys that's kind of coming on strong this season. At the beginning of the season, he's had a 36, a 15, and a 24 the last 3 against Houston. Do think that number could uptick this the way he's playing this season. You'll have to make a decision because both Bagley and Barnes are both in the same area of price. Marvin Bagley, $5,300 today, has a 50% chance of 5x in that salary, and he's projected about the same amount of points, but his points per minute are a little bit better than Barnes, 1.05, 22.4 projection and score. He's played 20, 27, and 23 minutes the past 3 games with a 28, a 24, and a 25. So pretty consistent in that area as far as production of fantasy. But moving on down the list, just want to see if there's anybody else that I can think of that someone mentioned to. Not really seeing much down here. I think that's pretty much it for our power forward position today. We're going to scoot on over to our center position. Big on the list of decisions you'll have to make today. For me, I think, given the play, if I had to choose between Harden and Embiid, it's probably Embiid for me today. Only because I think Embiid's in a better spot and he's not going to have to contend with people in that same position for points or minutes, so to speak. And he's great. He's a great fantasy point per minute guy as well. With the uncertainty of how that usage and how that stuff is going to go with the chemistry between James Harden and John Wall and all them guys. I think for me, I go John Wall, and I think for me it's probably Embiid. If I pay up for a $10,000 salary today, that's just my opinion. That's not a decision you'll have to make individually, but let's talk about Embiid. Obviously, 100% chance of 5Xing that $10,000 salary today. Coming into 18% ownership projection, 44.4 projected points today, 37 the last couple games he's played for minutes, a 49 and a 63 the last two games. So strong consideration for Embiid today. I really like him. Let's talk about another guy who's not going to get as much ownership as an Embiid, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert has a 100% chance as well as 5X his $7,500 salary today. He's been really consistent. 36.9% projection today. Fantasy point wise, he's also a great fantasy point per minute guy. 1.42. Also has played 28, 29, 36 minutes the last three games. He's put up a 47, a 44, and a 42 his last three to begin the season. Against Phoenix, notable games, past five, 47, 44, a 30, a 23, and a 40. Liking consideration for Rudy Gobert today to get different. Do like that as well. Let's talk about Christian Wood. I think it's going to be difficult to kind of project with Christian Wood today. I don't think he's deserving of that $7,300 price today because you're going to have Boogie Cousins out there. If Boogie Cousins starts, does Christian Wood and Boogie Cousins start together? We don't really know. I think later on in the day, if you get an idea of who's going to start, then you can kind of make that decision then and kind of go from there. But it's a little hard to decide right now. And I think with that price, I think you can get Rudy Gobert and not have to worry about it. Those kind of things. And he's coming in right now at 23% ownership. He was great without Boogie Cousins and them other guys on the COVID list, but we don't know what to expect. And I think that's a big gamble to pay today at that price to not know. So I do like him. I just don't know how that's going to work out exactly today with Boogie Cousins and how that works out. But some considerable matching for him. You could go that route. We just kind of need to see if Boogie Cousins is going to start and how that kind of draws away from each other, so to speak. So moving down the list, the next guy I want to talk about is Richaun Holmes. 32 minutes last game. He's coming in at 12% ownership, projected for 24 points. 50% chance he's going to 5X that salary. He got 36 last game. So if he's going to get those kind of minutes, obviously we want to play him. And he's had some good games against Houston, 27, 38, and a 38. Strong consideration for a cheap value play today. You can kind of go with center. Also, you can look at a guy like Steven Adams. $5,700 today, coming in for 27.5 projection of points today, 12% ownership. He's played 32, 30, and 23 minutes the past three games, 24, 26, and a 23. Strong consideration for Steven Adams today. The next guy on my list is obviously DeMarcus Cousins. $5,000 price today. He could absolutely smash this today if he starts and plays. Let's give him 30 minutes. 100% chance he could smash that 5 times that salary at 5,000. Projected today for 29.4 points. Obviously, the value play of the center position as the DeMarcus Cousins today. Kind of regardless if he comes off the bench or if he even starts. I mean, he's kind of playable either way. I love the play of DeMarcus Cousins today. Not anybody else really to mention. The only guy I'll kind of mention is New Orleans Noel. Obviously, we've seen Mitchell Robinson start for New York. If he gets in foul trouble, which he does like to foul, I could see a nice day for New Orleans Noel having to play some extra time. He has played 15, 13, 16 minutes. That number could go up if Mitchell Robinson gets in foul trouble today. Obviously, going against some of the bigs over there for Toronto. So 14 and 8 and a 21 the last 3 games. Some considerable mention for a cheap New Orleans Noel at $3,300. I think it'd do some justice if you're going to play like a 20-line tournament or something like that. Get a couple lines with New Orleans Noel in there. You never know what can happen there. So that is it for the video, guys. Hey guys, don't forget about Draft Dashboard. You can hit that in the description of the video. Try that for 30 days for $1. As well, guys, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It really helps me a ton. Also, I will link my Twitter handle down there in the bottom. You guys give me a follow over there if you're not already. I usually use Fantasy Labs. I'll tweet all the information if guys are not going to play, starting lineups, etc. I'll try to get those out before game time starts usually, and you can see that if you're not following Fantasy Labs NBA over there on Twitter, do that as well. That gives you complete access to see who's starting and things like that. Be smart, guys. It's very important that you pay attention about an hour before a lot, because a lot of things can change. Obviously, we've got the injury news about the New York guards that we need to pay attention to. Kind of pay attention to who's going to start for Houston. Those are just different things that we need to pay attention to today to give us an advantage over the field. There are a lot of people who don't pay attention to that stuff. They just set a lineup and then they just let it fly. If a guy isn't going to play, or if a starting lineup changes, or a guy is, you never know, they might swap somebody and they might test positive and the whole damn team don't play, then you need to know that before the game start. You don't want to just donate money for no reason. So let's be smart, guys, and play smart. But anyway, guys, that's the vid. Hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you guys, and we'll see you soon for a new vid. Goodbye.